Blackpool playing that first period, and they've just hit the post. So they have come out with purpose here, and it's still Blackpool 0, Barrow 0.
Charlie Adam is with us, as is Ali Maxwell from the Not the Top 20 podcast, and Stephen Kelly. Charlie, it's your old club and one that you have a great affection for. And it's always interesting to see when a new manager comes in, as Michael Appleton has, how they fit with, in this case, Neil Critchley's squad and how that works. How do you think it's settling in at Blackpool?
I don't think it's settled yet. I think there's still, issues going on. I think it was a shock to see Neil go in terms of inside the football club. It was all out of the blue. And obviously Michael's got to come in there and try and stamp his authority on what that club's been working on for the last, while. So it has been difficult. I've seen them a couple of times this year and they've just not got going yet. I believe they need a couple of experienced players in that midfield area just to calm everybody down, give them a wee bit of experience in terms of the younger players in there that'll learn from them and because the Championship is a tough game, and I've seen at times on Saturday against Stoke, they were getting played round and they was just needing somebody on there on the pitch to calm everything down. So hopefully they can find that in the next few weeks, and the window open, and once the window closes, there's obviously been talk about Josh Bowler, who is a terrific player. I think there's a lot of clubs will come in from in the next couple of weeks, and if they can keep him, that'll give them a better chance of staying up than it will if they lose them.
Yeah, well, we will talk about Josh Bowler because there is a lot of interest, as you were saying, in him. But the squad as a whole, I know you're saying that they maybe need a little bit of experience added in there. What do you make of it?
Well, it looks like Richard Keogh's going to go to Ipswich today. And, if you look at what Michael has actually played this year, a lot of the experienced ones that done well last year for Neil haven't really played. Maxwell's not played. Gary Madine's played up front but come off at the weekend, wasn't happy to be taken off. Jerry Yates is a player that they invested in, done really well in League One and just never really hit the heights in the Championship. So there is a few players in there that might be looking to leave if they're not playing, the experienced ones. And then, there's a difficult decision for the club and what they go with. They made an unbelievable offer to Cameron Brannigan at Oxford to bring him in for over £1 million, and that is, the chairman and Ben Mansford have obviously looked to invest in that type of money to that type of player, and he turned them down. So it's going to be an interesting 2 weeks, but listen, it's a great football club in terms of what it done for me, and I'd just like to see them try and get a little bit of an experienced midfielder in there to help these young players going through the Championship season.
Yeah, there's not long to go now of the transfer window, Ali. Do you think that they do need to bring in reinforcements?
I think everyone knows now that Blackpool are trying to bring in reinforcements because unfortunately it's become a bit of a joke in the EFL circles how many targets they have publicly been after, or rather it has been public rather than they have made it public, which clubs don't tend to do, which have fallen through for a variety of reasons, and none more dramatic than Cameron Brannigan, who it was heavily reported was on his way only for Oxford to gleefully reveal close to midnight that he had changed his mind, texted Carl Robinson, told him he wanted to stay. So the fans have been going through the ringer because all fans spend all summer obsessed with transfers, don't they? And Blackpool, it feels like I've had a tougher time than most this summer. I think we can expect that players will come in. And, I'm a big fan of Michael Appleton. I definitely think it's an awkward fit for how I perceive him and his teams to play versus how Blackpool thrived under Neil Critchley last season. So I do think there might be some teething problems. But he has got a fantastic reputation in the game, and he has developed talent very consistently wherever he's been, whether that was Oxford United or Lincoln City, where he had Brennan Johnson, where he had Morgan Rogers. He will be trusted by Premier League clubs to look after their most talented loanees. Arsenal have sent them Charlie Patino, who is among the most highly rated of all youth players in English football. So I'm sure we can expect, at the very least, a couple of talented loanees. But as Charlie has said, it does feel like they can't all be nice technical ball carriers in midfield. They might need a bit of steel as well.
Stephen, it's always tricky when you've got a manager who wants to play one way, then you're trying to adapt to a new system, and yet there are all these obstacles in Blackpool's way in terms of going into the transfer market and trying to get the players that Michael Appleton wants in the club.
Well, it's just how appealing a club is for you to go to, and it's like the lads have said, it's been difficult to get players through the door that fit the criteria of what the manager wants. And he was quite public in his comments the weekend as well, coming out and saying about the players might not be mentally ready for that level and stuff and all. So I think he's targeting a very specific type of player, but I think they do need some sternness. They need a bit of experience in that side, and the fact he's gone away from those players, the fact like Keogh is going to be going, and I'm not sure he even would have played, but players that can even be around the change room to help those young players, bring them on, in tough situations where they're going to be under the cosh. Because like Charlie said, the championship's relentless. You're going to games where you're really under it, and you have to just dig in and be hard and hard to break down. And you're going to get some teams that try and play and are probably better than you at that as well. So you have to have a mix of everything. At the moment, they just seem a bit one-dimensional, and the manager seems to be targeting the very similar players, and that might be to his downfall.
Lincoln 2-0 up against Doncaster. Teddy Bishop has scored for them. Connor Jennings has got a penalty for Stockport. They're 1-0 up at Harrogate, and Exeter have made it 6 at Cheltenham. Harry Kite has added their latest goal at Cheltenham. We will come back and talk about Josh Bowler, but Charlie, I know you're also interested in events at Ibrox. Let's check in there with Ready for